The stars above Veltar Prime shimmered like a sea of diamonds. But no one on the planet looked up tonight. Everyone was looking down at their screens, their leaders, and the empty skies where death might arrive. Inside the great hall of Veltar, Capital Chancellor Revik stood before the council. His voice trembled as he spoke. "We must send the signal now," he said. "If we wait another hour, Earth's fleet may already be on its way." The room was silent. The council, made up of Veltar's most powerful minds, looked scared. These were not warriors. These were the same leaders who, 5 years ago, had smiled when Earth begged for help and then turned away when Earth was attacked. Now Earth was the one with power. "We helped destroy them," said Councillor Venra quietly. "We thought they would never rise again." "They did," Revik whispered, "and now they want revenge." Across the stars, deep in the blackness of space, Earth's greatest fleet was moving in silence. Massive ships, shaped like daggers, glowing with blue energy, drifted closer to Veltar space. In the center of the formation was the largest ship ever built by Human's Vengeance. Admiral Riker stood on the bridge of the Vengeance, staring at the holographic map. Red markers showed enemy planets. Veltar Prime glowed the brightest. He didn't speak for a long time. A young officer walked up behind him. "Sir, the Veltar have sent a peace message. They are asking for mercy." Riker's jaw tightened. "They asked for mercy when our peace fleet arrived at their gates, and they opened fire," he asked. "No, sir," the officer replied quietly. Riker turned to face the bridge crew. "Let them beg," he said coldly, "but this time Earth is silent." 5 years earlier, Earth had trusted the Veltar Alliance. Humans believed in peace. They sent diplomats. They sent unarmed ships with medical aid, and the Veltar welcomed them with smiles and handshakes. Then came the betrayal. During the peace summit on Veltar's moon, the humans were trapped inside the main council dome. Explosives were placed under their seats. Cameras were turned off. The building exploded with every human delegate still inside. Across the galaxy, Earth's colonies were hit at the same time. It was a coordinated strike. Over 4 billion humans died in just 24 hours. The Veltar had betrayed Earth, joining forces with other alien empires to divide human space and steal resources. They thought Earth would never recover, but Earth did not scream, Earth did not cry, Earth rebuilt in silence now. Earth's silence was the sound of war coming. On Veltar Prime, Chancellor Revik stared at the night sky. He could feel something terrible approaching. "We need to show them we've changed," he said. "We must offer more than words." "What can we offer?" Venra asked. "They lost everything because of us." Revik took a deep breath. "Our cities, our wealth, our fleets. We give it all." "You think they will forgive?" she asked. Revik looked tired. "No, but maybe. Maybe they will show mercy." He pressed a button and sent a second message toward Earth. "This is Chancellor Revik of Veltar Prime. We beg you, end this. We will surrender all. Please don't destroy us." Back aboard the Vengeance, Riker watched the second message. Arriva's officers looked at him. They're offering full surrender. One said. Riker nodded slowly. "Let me tell you a story," he said. Everyone turned to listen. "When I was a boy, my sister worked on the peace mission. She was on that moon base when they bombed it. I saw it on the news. I was just 12. He stared at the stars. "I remember thinking, they smiled while killing us. They took joy in it. We showed peace, and they showed fire." Riker looked back at the hologram. "Now we return the favor." The human fleet moved like a storm. No messages, no warnings. VE Eltar's early warning systems lit up. Sirens screamed across the capital. People ran into bunkers. Their leaders panicked. But there was no time to hide. The Vengeance appeared in orbit like a black sun. Smaller ships circled it like hungry sharks. The sky above Veltar turned red. Rev IK stood in the war room, hands shaking. "They're here," he said softly. Vendra collapsed into a chair. Did they say anything? No. Outside the building, the night turned to fire. The first human strike came without sound. Orbital cannons fired beams of blue energy into the capital. Skyscrapers turned to dust. The defense grid, once strong, melted under the assault. Veltar's military bases were erased in seconds. A final message was sent from Veltar's central tower. We surrender. We surrender. Please stop. On the Vengeance, Riker watched the message blink on his screen. He didn't play it. He turned to his weapons officer. Target the Capitol Tower. The officer hesitated. Sir, they're surrendering. Riker's eyes were ice. Too late. The order was given. One final beam of light shot down from orbit. The Capitol Tower vanished in a burst of white heat. Silence fell over Vel-Tar. Smoke rose into the sky. The great cities were gone. No sound remained but wind and ash. Riker stood alone on the bridge, staring at the broken world below. He spoke quietly, more to himself than to anyone else. We gave them peace. Once, no one replied. Hours later, Earth's fleet moved on. The next planet awaited. The message was clear. Humanity remembers, and this time there will be no forgiveness. The planet Zarnes IV was quiet. Children played in the grass fields. Traders walked in the market. The twin suns warmed the city of Tolrex, the Zarnes capital. No one spoke of the past. No one mentioned Earth. Not anymore. They thought the war was over. They thought Earth would forget. They were wrong. High above the peaceful skies, the stars began to vanish not because of nightfall, but because of shadow. Hundreds of ships, black and massive, appeared above Zarnes IV, like death had come with wings. Their lights were cold, their engines silent. The largest ship, Judgment, moved to the center of the formation. People stopped. Eyes turned upward. Fear spread faster than sound. The city alarms screamed too late. A mother grabbed her son and ran. A soldier dropped his food and reached for his rifle. But it would not matter from orbit. Earth's warships were already locking targets. Inside the Judgment, Commander Hale stood tall, her face emotionless. She looked at the image of Zarnes IV glowing on the screen. 5 years ago, she said, the Zarnes handed over human colonies to slavers. In exchange, they got weapons and ships. Her voice grew cold. They gave away Earth's children. For profit, a soldier next to her whispered, they said we'd forget. Commander Hale shook her head. Earth doesn't forget. Earth remembers, planet by planet. The attack began. Precision strikes hit the Zarnes defense satellites. The sky lit with flames. One by one, Zarnes warships were destroyed before they could even leave orbit. Then came the drop pods. Thousands of metal capsules fell from the fleet like a meteor shower. They slammed into the ground across cities, bases, and factories. When the pods opened, Earth's ground troops stepped out. They wore dark armor. They didn't speak. Their visors glowed red. Zarnes soldiers fought back but were overwhelmed. Earth's soldiers moved fast, silent, without hesitation. They didn't take prisoners. In the capital city of Tolrex, General Zarnith tried to rally. His men, defend Sector 7. He shouted, protect the airfield. But his officers were panicking. They're everywhere. They landed before our scanners saw them. They're disabling power grids. There, boom dot, the wall exploded behind them. 3 human soldiers stepped through the smoke. One raised his rifle. The rest of the room went silent. General Zarnith reached for his weapon. He never got the chance. The people of Zarnes IV didn't understand. Why no warning? Why no talks? Why no mercy? A small child looked up at the sky and asked her father, are they monsters? The father held her close. No, they're humans. And for a moment, he remembered. He remembered 5 years ago when Earth had sent messages. When Earth begged for help, when the Zarnes had laughed and sold Earth's survivors to alien warlords, the father closed his eyes. We deserve this. In the ruins of the Zarnes High Temple, a last defense plan was being prepared. A group of elders gathered around a glowing device, a weapon from ancient times. This will stop them, said Elder Varun. The flame crystal was made to protect our kind. He activated it. Nothing happened. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the chamber. Looking for this, from the shadows, stepped a human figure, a woman in armor. Her helmet hissed as it came off. Held up the real flame crystal. You lost this 2 days ago, she said. Our spies took it before your leaders even knew we were coming. The elders stared, frozen. Don't worry, she said, stepping forward. You won't need it. Where you're going? A single shot echoed in the chamber. The human fleet didn't stay long. After 12 hours, they left behind silence, smoke, and ashes. Every military base was gone. Every data tower was erased. Every sign of power was turned to dust, and on every screen, the same message appeared left behind by Earth's AI broadcast. To the people of Zarnis 4, you traded our children for weapons. You watched as Earth begged and you looked away. This was not war. This was memory made fire. In the stars above, Commander Hale stood in front of her officers. "One more down," she said. "Two more to go." She stared at the star map. The next target blinked red, Drillock Prime. Her voice was cold. "They called us weak. They called us broken. Now we show them what memory looks like when it comes armed." She turned away from the screen. "Prepare the fleet. Burn the next planet." In the silence of deep space, Earth's fleet moved like a storm. No diplomats, no second chances, only memory, and vengeance. Deep in the void system, far from any known star, a hidden space station floated in darkness. It was protected by jamming fields and cloaking tech stolen from Earth during the Great Betrayal. Inside, a secret meeting had begun. 5 alien leaders sat around a glowing table. Fear filled their eyes. They were the last of the Betrayer Alliance rulers of species who had once stood together against Earth. They had shared Earth's secrets, attacked its colonies, and laughed when humans burned. Now, they whispered like hunted prey. Jarul, the cold-blood supreme leader of the Draylock Empire, slammed his claws on the table. "2 of our worlds are gone. The humans destroyed Veltar Prime and Zarnis 4 without warning." "Without mercy," added Senavera, a Zoran elder. Her skin shimmered with panic. Chancellor Rethix of the Malkari pounded the table. "Where is our fleet? Where are the weapons we built from Earth's stolen data?" The room went silent. They all knew the truth. Earth was not coming for talks. Earth was coming for judgment. Outside the station, hidden beyond sensor range, a black ship watched. It didn't move. It didn't blink. It only listened. Inside, Captain Myra Solas of Earth's Shadow Fleet smiled. "They're scared," she said. "They think they're hidden. They think they're safe." Her officer nodded. "Should we strike now?" Mira shook her head. "Not yet. Let them plan their escape. We'll let them believe they can run. Then we'll burn them all at once." Back in the Void Station, the Betrayer leaders were desperate. "We must go deeper into the galaxy," said Jarul. "We hide among the black holes. They'll never follow." "They'll follow," Senna whispered. "Humans are different now." Reth leaned forward. "Then we build one final weapon. A god killer. Something that will remind Earth who we are." "What do we have left?" Jorul asked. Rethix hesitated. "There's one thing." Everyone turned. He opened a small case and showed them a glowing sphere. "Project Omega," he said. "Human tech mixed with forbidden energy. If activated, it could destroy a planet or more." Jarul's eyes widened. "Why didn't we use this before?" Rethix smiled. "Because we thought we'd never need it." Back aboard the Shadow Fleet, Mira Solas watched the feed. Tiny drones had entered the station and were sending real-time images. "Project Omega," she repeated. "So that's what they were hiding." She looked at her crew. "Call Admiral Riker. Tell him it's time." On the edge of the Void System, the full human fleet arrived. Thousands of ships, black and silent, surrounded the stars like a ring of death. They didn't send warnings. They didn't respond to signals. They just came. Inside the Void Station, the alarm blared. "Human ships. They've found us." An officer shouted, "Rethix activated Omega. We'll show them," he screamed. "We'll destroy their entire fleet." But something went wrong. The device blinked red dot, block dot, jammed. Suddenly, a voice echoed across their station. "You should have used it earlier." The voice belonged to Mira Solas. Her face appeared on every screen inside the base. "We've been here for 3 days. Your secrets are ours. Your weapon is offline. Your time is up." Drew roared. "You can't do this. This is not war, it's murder." Mira smiled coldly. "No, this is memory." The human fleet opened fire. Beams of light sliced through the station's shields. Torpedoes slammed into the outer walls. Within minutes, the once-hidden base became a tomb. Rethix tried to escape in a pod, but it exploded before he reached the bay. Jarua fought like a beast. claws ripping at soldiers until he was burned down by a single plasma bolt. Vria tried to beg, but the humans didn't listen. Not anymore, Captain. Mira landed with her team inside the ruins. She stepped over the broken bodies of the last betrayers. She planted a device in the center of the station. It glowed with the symbol of Earth, and when it detonated, the explosion was small, but the message was huge. Across the galaxy, human ships broadcasted the footage. One by one, planets watched the fall of the betrayers, and they heard Earth's words. You hid among stars. You planned in shadows, but we watched. We waited, and now we erase. Elsewhere, Admiral Riker stood aboard the Vengeance. Watching the reports, another enemy gone. Only one planet remained. The Zoran homeworld, the heart of the betrayal, the place where the plan to destroy Earth had first been written. Riker turned to his crew. Prepare everything, he said. We end it there. Across the galaxy, the last betrayers ran. Some tried to hide among stars, some begged for forgiveness, but it was too late. Earth had no room left for mercy, only memory and fire. The last planet left was Zoran Prime. It was once called the Jewel of the Stars, a world of shining towers, perfect gardens, and proud leaders. But now, those towers were empty. The skies above were silent. No ships moved, no traders, no messages, only fear. Everyone on Zoran Prime was waiting for one thing: the arrival of Earth in the Grand Palace. High Warden Selvik stood before the remaining Zoran Council. His eyes were full of worry. They are coming, he said quietly. All our early warnings are silent. They've destroyed every station. The human fleet is near. Counselor Dross tried to stay calm. We can still talk. Earth will listen to reason. Selvik turned to him. Do you not understand? They are not the same. The humans we betrayed were hopeful, peaceful. But those humans are gone. He raised his voice. We killed their trust. Now they kill everything else. Above the planet, the skies cracked open. The Vengeance, Judgment, Shadow Wings, and thousands of human ships appeared. They blocked the sun. Zoran Prime, and still. No message came, no warning, no speech, just a cold silence on the bridge of the Vengeance. Admiral Riker stood alone at the command window. The burned images of Veltar, Zarnes, and the Void Station glowed behind him. He spoke softly. This is the end. His officer looked at him. No orders, sir. Riker shook his head. They chose long ago. When they signed the death of our people, when they sold us, when they laughed as Earth burned, he stepped forward. No more chances, no more forgiveness. Down on the surface, panic began. Crowds gathered in the streets. Alarms rang. Zoran soldiers tried to prepare defenses, but they had seen what Earth could do. Their weapons would be useless. High Warden Stick stepped onto the palace balcony and looked at the skies. He saw Earth's ships stretching forever. He whispered to himself, we were wrong. Across the cities, screens lit up, but instead of Earth's demands, they showed a simple message. You had peace. You chose betrayal. Now, we choose memory. Then the bombardment began. Human ships fired beams of searing blue light. Shield generators shattered. Zoran airfields exploded. Military bases turned to glass. Towers fell. The great library of Zoran, the place where the plan to betray Earth had been written, was turned to ash in seconds. The people screamed. Some ran, some prayed, but there was nowhere to hide because Earth had learned never to trust again. In the city of Karos, a young Zoran girl sat with her grandmother in the ruins of their home. Why do they hate us? The girl asked. Her grandmother wept because we watched as their children died. She looked up at the burning sky, and we did nothing. Back aboard the Vengeance, Admiral Riker received a message. It was from Selvik himself. A final plead. It read, we surrender. Please, spare the innocent. We were not all part of the betrayal. Riker read the message in silence. Then he answered with just 3 words. You were silent. The final stage of the assault began. Human dropships landed across the planet. They didn't raise flags. They didn't give speeches. They set fire to armories. They destroyed every machine, every lab, every center of government. Earth's soldiers walked through the streets with purpose. People looked into their helmets and saw nothing. No anger, no cruelty, just cold duty. One soldier passed by a crying Zoran woman. She reached for him. "I had no part in it," she screamed. He didn't reply, he didn't stop, because to Earth, they all had a part. In the final moments, High Warden Selvik stood in the palace hall. Fires burned outside the windows. The ground shook. He sent one last message to all other species of the galaxy. It was short, a warning. Do not forget what we did to Earth. But more importantly, do not forget what Earth became. After we did, then the human strike reached the palace, and silence followed. 3 hours later, Earth's fleet began to rise from orbit. Zoran Prime burned behind them. Admiral Riker stood tall. He opened a channel, this time not to the enemy, but to all of known space. His message echoed across satellites, space stations, and starships. This is Earth. We were peaceful. We asked for help. You gave us betrayal, so we returned what was given. Not in anger, not in hate, in memory. Let no one forget. This was not revenge. This was justice. And with that, Earth's fleet turned away from Zoran space. They did not celebrate, they did not cheer, they just left, because Earth's mission was done. Across the galaxy, alien leaders shivered in silence. They spoke in hushed voices about Earth, not as weak or kind or foolish anymore, but as something new, something the stars would never dare betray again. And somewhere, back on Earth in a quiet garden, an old woman placed flowers at a memorial. It had the names of every life lost in the betrayal, and under it, one sentence, "We will remember."